Hi guys, it's Nevo again from Crystale, and of course I'm joined by our game designer, Regilio. How's it going?
Doing good.
Good,
You?
good, good. I'm fine. I'm fine. Happy to be
Good.
here again. As you know, we'll be sharing a lot of these videos in the coming weeks, where we take you through the game of Crystal. We had in our previous episode a small introduction of the basic mechanics, where we used also one of the summoner effects called Meteor.
Exactly.
What Meteor did is it changed the field tiles where it was selected, and it could also inflict a status ailment to your opponent, right?
Exactly.
So today we'll be diving a little bit more into the status ailments. But Regilio, tell the public a little bit more what are status ailments and what do they do in the game?
Well, basically, ailments are kind of like the status afflictions that you get in regular RPG games. So you have the regular stuff like burn, which we will showcasing in this particular video. But you can also have things like stunned or dazed or feared, frozen, and stuff like that.
And all of these status ailments, they have a certain effect on your gameplay of the servant, which is ailed with the status, right?
Exactly.
Great,
Yes.
great, great. All right, let's dive in. What are we looking at right now?
Yeah, so last time we showed the meteor effect from the summoner, which could not only damage your opponent but also burn said opponent. And with the burn status ailment, you basically get a timer where you get damage on your own turn. So, for example, if I burn my opponent, then it will get a counter for how long that particular status affliction is present, and then at the end of the opponent's turn, it will take 10 damage from the burn status ailment of that particular effect. However, once you have burn, it can also be influenced by the field itself. So, for example, if you move to a fire tile, which you can see, we can showcase right here, there you can see that the damage will be doubled. Simply because it's on fire, so fire will ignite the fire of the servant, doubling that particular damage. And obviously, when you're standing on water, that will extinguish said fire, meaning that once you move to a water tile, which you can also see here, the burn status affliction will disappear.
Yeah, so what we just saw is when we got burned, there's also like a border around the servant, which showcases a circle of fire, I would say. And as soon as you move towards a water tile, the burn ailment goes away and the circle of fire also goes away.
Yes, exactly.
So even if you have a status ailment, the field can still impact the effect or the way it affects your servant, right?
Yes,
Great.
exactly. So it's important that you not only give your opponent status afflictions, but you also keep into account where you give them that, so that they can interact with the field in their advantage, and you basically make the most out of it on your side of the advantage.
Sounds interesting. I think it's a lot of. I think it's an element that you have to strategize around, right?
Exactly.
Great.
Yes.
Is it possible to have multiple status ailments?
Yes, so like I said, there are multiple status ailments, and this fire deck in particular basically benefits a lot from the burn status ailment. Basically, when you give your opponents the burn status ailment, they can utilize that particular effect and then give them more ailments. Like, for example, Reckless is capable of giving opponents fear once they are burned and he attacks it. There are other units that can basically do more damage when the opponent is burned already, or they can utilize different types of effect.
Ignis was already burned. We saw the circle of fire. Then Rockness attacked. Rockness is effect when he attacks an enemy that is burned. That enemy also gains the status ailment fear.
Yes.
And that's what we saw on Rockness. He had the fire wheel around him, and after that he also had the dead skulls, right? And the dead skulls indicated that he had fear and was burned.
Yes, exactly.
Great. All right. Are there any other things that we have to keep in mind when we are burned and when we are playing with the fire deck? What is the strategy behind having burn, giving burn in relation to the fire deck?
Well, basically, when you're playing against the fire, it's essential that you basically do not get burned, because once you are getting burned, basically all the effects that the fire can utilize on you will take effect, and it will basically trample your deck instantly. And as for if you are playing the fire deck, the best strategy I would say is to make sure that the opponent can't utilize water in and of itself. water basically extinguishes its fire, and since the fire deck really relies on giving the opponents burned, you want to make sure that they can't do that. So basically make sure to remove all water tiles from the field so that they can't save themselves from there, and then you can basically go all in.
Great, sounds good, sounds good. And the spells, which also induce damage, in some cases induce more damage when the servants are burned, right?
Yes, so there are a few spells that can be used when they are burned, and there are some that can actually increase damage when they are burned. So more the same, where you have particular effects that can be enhanced when the opponent is burned.
Great. And then I want to give one more extra tip. There's one spell in the deck which actually allows burn to stay. I think it was, not I think, I know it was inspired by Naruto. Could you tell a little bit more about Black Flame?
Black Flame, yeah. So that's the one spell in the fire deck which can be used even if the opponent tries to stay on water. So basically, the Amaterasu Black Flame technique from Itachi, the well-known burning technique, gives the opponent the burn effect. However, this one in particular can't be erased by standing on water. So if your opponent utilizes a lot of water to try and counteract your deck, you can still give them the burn with this particular spell.
Great. Sounds a lot to strategize around. Guys, this was the tutorial around the status ailment and in particular burn. And we'll see you on the next tutorial where we dive into more of Crystale the game. Stay tuned and subscribe to our channel.